interact with all our employers. You will get access to the employer booths with live opportunities for with companies like ABB, Global Foundries, Guidewire, and Vodafone Idea, and even our exhibitors Make My Trip, Siemens Healthineers, RR Donnelly, Clear Tax, and Fresenius Medical Care. So, without further ado, I officially welcome you all. And to set the tone for the day, please join me in welcoming Rahul Srivastav, our VP and Head of Sales at CareerNet. So, a little bit about Rahul. Rahul brings over 2 decades of experience in driving revenue growth, building high impact sales and customer success teams, and crafting customer centric go to market strategies. He has worked across leading consumer market, technology, and service organizations, including ShareChat, LinkedIn, and Yahoo, with deep expertise across both B2B and B2C sales motions. Most recently, Rahul played a key role in building the mid market and government businesses at ShareChat, one of India's largest vernacular short form video platforms. Prior to that, at LinkedIn India, he headed the mid market advertising business, scaling it to become the largest revenue generating segment in the APAC region. So he's a strong believer in creating environments that enable team success and professional growth. Rahul brings both strategic vision and people first leadership to the role. He holds an MBA from George Brown College and an executive MBA from IM Bangalore. So, Rahul, over to you.
Thank you, Pritha. Good morning, everyone. It's an absolute honor to join you today at this remarkable gathering, the 7th edition of the MyCareernet's Career Fair for Women, a celebration of ambition, ability, and the power of choice in shaping careers. Let me take a moment to just introduce you to the CareerNet Group. The CareerNet Group is one of India's leading holistic talent solution providers with presence in talent acquisition, recruitment, staffing, and leadership hiring since 1999. What started as a recruitment consultancy is today known for its tech-enabled hiring solutions, assessment software, full-spectrum GCC consulting, etc. With a network of millions of candidates and partnership with hundreds of employers, CareerNet supports both organizational and professionals, both organizations and professionals in achieving their growth and career goals. The group operates specialized brands like HirePro, which is our proprietary tech platform for assessments, Longhouse, which is our executive search practice, and MyCareernet's, our talent community platform. Now, we at CareerNet have been at the center of India's IT talent revolution. And over the last 27 odd years, we've seen the Indian talent brand really mature. However, there are inequalities in the ecosystem that we are fighting to correct. Women participation in the formal workforce is one of them. Today, 32% of all Indian IT workers are women, right? Up 29% from the year before, which is significant. While hiring at entry levels have improved, women are significantly underrepresented in more senior roles. Only about 24% of managers in India are women. And let that sink in, only 24%. These are inequalities that we hope and strive to correct. We are here not just today to offer opportunities, but to reframe the narrative, to flip the dialogue, to acknowledge that this moment isn't just about being invited into the room, it's about owning the room. And it's not about just being seen as the potential, but really it's about setting the pace. And it's more importantly, it's about transforming opportunities given into impact. Today's theme, Wow In is back, is more than just a clever phrase. It signifies a strategic shift in mindset. Over the next 5 odd minutes, I wanted to talk about 3 key constructs that when we think of the talent landscape today. The first one is the importance of equal opportunity. Talent, the second is the talent as the number one operating priority and the importance of diverse teams. And the third one is really the power of the community, the network, and mentorships. So let's begin with the importance of equal opportunity. Equal opportunity is not a nice to have. It's a strategic imperative in the modern world of work. Despite progress, women still face structural barriers in participation, representation, and progression in tech, in engineering, in analytics, in operations, and beyond. Equal opportunity means equal access to roles, leadership pipelines, mentorship, learning, and advancement. It means creating workplaces where talent, not gender, determines success. And ambitious platforms like this one help bridge that gap. Connecting women with employers who value what they bring to the table, building environments where careers are shaped by excellence and not just by stereotypes. When women have equitable access to opportunities, the benefits ripple far beyond individual careers. They drive stronger teams, more innovative thinking, and more resilient organization. And in today's age, resiliency is one character which every organization is fighting to have. Now let's think about talent as the number one operating priority and why it is important in today's world. In a world marked by rapid technological change and shifting economic dynamics, business needs critical competitive advantage, and that is high quality talent. Talent today is not merely a resource, it's the driving force of growth. Companies that are prioritizing talent and are investing in bringing in diverse talent will enjoy better innovation, creativity, improved problem solving, stronger decision making at every level, and higher employee engagement and retention. The organization represented here today understand this. They recognize that by investing in a diverse pipeline of skilled professionals, they not only bring a stronger workforce, but a stronger future. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be clear. Diverse talent wins. And when talent thrives in an environment that supports women with equitable pay, flexible work arrangements, mentorship, clear pathways to leadership, we just don't fill roles, we transform workplaces. No one succeeds in isolation, right? Your networks, your mentors, peers, hiring leaders, advocates matter. The career fair is a celebration of this community, a space where you can connect with recruiters and leaders who genuinely want to support your journey today. You will find meaningful opportunities which are tailored to your expertise, and you'll meet peers who understand your goals and champion your ambition. Let's use this experience not just to find a job, but to build relationships that nurture confidence, resilience, and leadership. Because when women support women and when allies across the industry step forward, we unlock potential that has long been underestimated. In an earlier edition of this fair, speakers have emphasized enabling women across educational backgrounds, career stages, and identities to access opportunities and enter leadership pathways. These initiatives, including accessible formats and inclusive participation, highlight the belief that diversity enriches every workplace. Remember, one policy change can get women up the ladder. Even one woman up the ladder can mentor hundreds of more women. These words shared at a previous career fair remind us that small changes at organization levels can have a massive transformational impact. So my call to action today to the women participating, own your story, choose the opportunities that align with your ambition, and let this platform be a launchpad and not a stop along the way. The future of work cannot be built without women in every sector, in every role, and at every stage. This event isn't just about finding jobs, it's about changing mindsets, unlocking potential, and creating a world where question is not whether you belong, but what will you accomplish next. So thank you for being here. Thank you for investing in yourself. And to the TA and the HR community here today, thank you for helping build workplaces that truly value talent in all its diversity. So let's not just flip the narrative, let's lead the change forward. All the very best to everyone participating today. Prita, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rahul, for those really inspiring words and for reinforcing our commitment to building inclusive career pathways. So now let's move to our keynote session. We are very delighted to have with us our esteemed platinum partner, ABB. ABB continues to create structured opportunities for women in engineering, technology, and leadership roles. Before I call out Vaibhav Srivastav, I think we have something for you.
Working with ABB past 2 years, which has been an amazing opportunity for me to grow. Ownership, access to advanced labs, and a team that backs amazing ideas. What I value the most is the ownership culture. You have a smarter idea, you're trusted to lead it. Hardware, software, shop floor, we all come together to give a real impact.
At ABB, strategy is built with people.
Every project starts with an open discussion, clear goals, and inputs from across the teams. We focus on turning customers' challenges into practical and scalable solutions, aligning our ideas with impact and always thinking ahead.
ABB brings together people from all backgrounds, different experiences, one team. Every voice matters, and those diverse perspectives make us smarter. Innovation here is a habit. Try, learn, iterate. We keep it engaging with demos, quick feedback, and a plenty of ship it energy.
The most rewarding part of my work is seeing ideas move from design to reality. On factory floor, we test, refine, and ensure every detail meets ABB's high standards. It's hands-on, rigorous, and where our innovation proves its value.
What stands out at ABB is its culture. We are heard, trusted, and supported. People step in to help without being asked. We live the 4 C's: courage, care, curiosity, and collaboration. We celebrate our wins together, share credits, and solve challenges together.
Great. So please join me in welcoming Vaibhav Srivastav, Country HR Manager, ABB. Vaibhav brings deep and diverse HR leadership experience from his long-standing journey with ABB. He has led HR across large business units, engineering and R&D centers, and global corporate functions, managing people strategies for teams for over 3,000 employees. His experience spans major integrations, large-scale transformative initiatives, and complex projects, including the GEIS acquisition and the power grid carve-out. Beyond business impact, Vaibhav has been a strong advocate for inclusion and sustainability. He pioneered ABB's first Abilities ERG group, reinforcing the organization's commitment to accessibility and belonging. With over 100 years of presence in India and more than 10,000 employees, ABB continues to be a leader in electrification, automation, and digitalization, and Vaibhav has played a key role in shaping its people and culture journey. So, I think the topic today, of course, is energizing women's career, opportunities, pathways, and what ABB is building for tomorrow's talent. Over to you, Weber.
Thank you, Prita. So, good morning, all of you. First of all, like what Rahul was mentioning, that this is an opportunity for all of you to look at how you want to build up your career. So, I'm here representing ABB, but frankly, I'm not here to sell ABB to you. I'm planning to talk more about what you should look for in an employer, how you should look for making an informed choices about your career options. So what are the things that are important for specifically the women that they should look for in the companies? So thank you for investing time in yourself. Thank you for investing time in your career. But of course, when I talk about how you could make more informed decision, I will also talk about ABB, that what are we doing in ABB and how that could be a choice of company for you. So let me first begin with talking about the industry as such. So if you look at the larger industry, what's happening in the industry, and I'm sure you would agree with me that today The roles are changing faster than the job titles or the designations. Skill is becoming more and more important rather than how much time you have spent in your career or what has been your tenure in a company like that. So skill is becoming more important. The career is moving into phases. There are learning phase, there are performing phase, there are pause coming into the phase, there is reset and pivoting happening in the career. And specifically, if we look at the women who also have the ability and multi-talent in terms of caregiving, the life transitions happening, sometimes career breaks coming into their journey. So these are not exceptions anymore. These are actually part of the successful careers in many, many cases. So my request to all of you would be that if you are having that kind of a thought in mind, that if I'm restarting my career or if there is a pause coming in my career, don't be worried about it. These are normal trends in the industry. These are not exceptions. These So the companies today are asking the questions like, did you take a break? No, that's not the question what they are asking now. What they are asking, did you continue to grow? Did you continue to learn? Whether you are working in a company or you are not working in a company, what did you do in that period is the real question. And that shows your intent towards your own growth and what contribution you can bring into an organization. So that's what is happening. And what you should really look for is reflecting, that have I really learned something? Am I growing? Is this company providing me an opportunity for growth? Are they valuing my potential? So that's something which you should look for. But in my opinion, what is also very important is that we also look at the support system or the environment in which we operate. The individual brilliance today is less important, I would say, but what is more important is that the environment, the support system in which we operate today. Now, Prita was saying that I have been a long timer in ABB. And to be very transparent with you, I have been in this company for more than 18 years now. If I take a bit of my journey, how this has evolved. Let me go back to the value system with how it gets developed into an individual and how that relates to a company where you are working. My mother uh, is a very highly qualified person, and I'm talking about some 1970s time. When she got married and after I was born, uh, she was still not working. But when I turned 11, that time she decided that now it's time for me to start my career again. And I could really see that when she was preparing for the administrative services, she was working on how do I qualify for that exam. I could really see how my father was supporting her, how together both of them were preparing. And she cracked the exam in first attempt itself. Uh, so that gave me the belief that it's never too late to start a career, one. You should have that confidence in yourself that I can do it. And then you should have that support system around you. So now, if I look back, that was the value system I grew up with in my family. And when I come into ABB, do I see the same value system available here? How do we support the employees, particularly the women colleagues? Are they feeling that we are part of a family and they are valued? That's where my value system matches with the company value system. And that's one of the important reason why I am still with ABB. So that was a bit about me. But if I turn the lens towards you, and if I talk about how should you choose an employer? See, it's no more a market where the companies are so attractive that anybody would come in. The talent, the candidates, the people out there are also having the equal opportunity to select an employer. Now, if you have to select an employer, I would encourage you to ask these 5 simple but very powerful questions. Question number 1: is the company investing in continuous learning? So it's not only that you are having an induction program of 3 days and you learn about the company and then you are done. No, is there a continuous learning happening across the company throughout your career? Specifically for employees, and if I talk of women employees, are they looking at only performance, perfection, quality, or are they also looking at potential? So look for those companies who value potential in you. Third question you should also ask: do they support career transition? So it's not about that you are into one role and then you continue to perform in that role. No, is the company having a system, a structure in place, a governance model in place which supports career transition? Important for you. Question number 4, and this shows the culture in the organization. Do they measure inclusion? So it's not only about some one-off initiatives, it's not only about some slogans around it, but do they have a culture which can be measured in terms of inclusion? And last but not the least, very important question you should also look and ask is that, do they care about well-being and safety? Because it's not only about the performance. The performance cannot be sustained if the company is not taking care of employee well-being and their safety. So keep these 5 questions in mind and evaluate the companies on these questions, which will help you make an informed decision which is more aligning with your aspirations. Now, in this regard, let me also give you some uh, facts and data what is happening in ABB. So if I look at, say, last 5 years, our gender diversity has improved from around 9% to 23% in 2025, which is a growth of 103% women employees in the organization. If I look at our senior positions, Rahul was mentioning that across country we just have 24% uh, uh, employees in the senior positions. But if I look at the growth, what we have in the senior positions in ABB, we grew at 110% in this number. If I look at middle and junior level position, we grew by 230% growth in last 5 years. So why I am giving you this data? That it's not only that we are talking about these initiatives, but we are actually intentionally working on it. This is a part of the system, it's part of the culture. So, when talking about the questions we were uh, thinking about, let me also give you a bit of picture about what do we do for the development of our employees. There are multiple programs we run at both global as well as local level. In general, for all the employees, we have learning platforms available which are provided by Harvard, LinkedIn. So everybody has an access to these platforms for learning, and it is more self learning, self-paced learning. But we also have designed programs for women employees for developing them into senior leadership role. This is called a program called Rise. We have program for strengthening the people leadership capabilities in other for all the employees. The program is called Lead, and another program called Ignite. It's not only about the learning programs, training programs, what we do, but the network, what you develop inside the organization, the learning what you get from your peers and colleagues is also very, very important. So we have initiatives like Women in Network. This is specifically to help you build your network inside the organization. We also support the organizations like Leela Poonawalla. We work with them to help develop the women who are in their early career phase. So that is through our CSR initiative, but that also helps us bringing in the talented women employees in the early career phase. But this is also to say that it would not be irrelevant here to say that we not only work on the developing leadership skills, technical skills, and those kind of a thing, but we also at the same time continuously work on removing biases in the organization. So there are multiple programs which happens for unconscious bias thing, and how do we prepare our hiring managers to remove any kind of bias if they have in their mind while selecting the candidates. So these are important things, but at this platform, I'm very happy to announce that we are revamping and launching a women returnee program in ABB. This program we have named as ABB Unpause. Of course, what happens is that sometimes the women colleagues have to take pause in their career, but they are always at one point in time ready to come back to their career. And that's the program which we are launching. In ABB Unpause program, you will find real-time project exposure, learning and upskilling opportunities. There will be professional mentorship available, and we hope it will give you a very dignified pathway back to work. So this program is being launched here in this event today, which I am very pleased to inform you. Please go to the website and look for the opportunities available there, which can help not only you, but also us in ABB. And of course, uh, when I was talking about the employee well-being and safety, that is also a part of our uh, core value system. If I can say that. So we have lot of health and safety programs happening, continuous learnings happening on the safety side of it. We take care of the well-being of the employees from health check point of view. Uh, we provide the uh, good quality crash facility in our offices, and we also have the employee assistance program wherever they can they any if any person needs that kind of a support. So there are lot of things built in around the well-being and the safety of the employees. So I told you about what you should look for, what can help you make the right choices in your career, and I also gave you some bit of details about what do we do in ABB. So let me close my session by saying that don't think that this career is a race. It's a long conversation. It's a long conversation between your aspirations and the world around you. So look for who is investing in your growth, who is respecting your life choices, which are the organization who evolve with you, not against you. You can see in my background our statement of purpose: run what runs the world. So through this platform, through my talk, I'm inviting you to join a company that runs the world. Do you want to run the company which runs the world? With that, I thank you for listening to me. I hope my talks were helpful for making an informed and confident decision for yourself. And I wish you courage and clarity and conviction in building your career. Thank you so much, Prita. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. That was amazing. And I know ABBs because my mother-in-law, she started her career with ABB. So I know it's been there for a while, and I'm so excited and very glad that you could launch Unpause program today. And I think what will stay with me is who is investing in your growth, right? That's so, so important. As you rightly said, I think you really need those champions and people around you. And of course, it's amazing to see, organizations like ABB's making it happen. And I'm so excited that you already have some existing programs like Rise, Lead, and Ignite, and Women in Network. And we're really, really excited about Unpause. And all the women out there, it'd be great if you can see all these opportunities, and ABB will have their booth. So look forward to, very good conversations there. Thank you, Weber.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Okay, so now we move into our most anticipated segment of today's event, our leadership panel discussion. So, the theme is the next decade of women at work, what it takes to lead, grow, and stay relevant. The future of work is evolving rapidly, from AI led transformation to new leadership expectations and dynamic career paths. So, the key question is, what will it truly take for a woman to lead, grow, and stay relevant in the next decade? To explore this, we are joined by exceptional panel of leaders from our gold partners, Global Foundries, Guidewire Software, Vodafone Idea. Global Foundries is one of the world's leading semiconductor manufacturers, building the essential chips that power automotive, connectivity, data centers, and next generation digital technologies. We also have Guidewire, and Guidewire is a global cloud platform provider for property and casualty insurers, enabling digital transformation across policy, billing, claims, and data driven insurance operations. Vodafone Idea is one of India's leading telecom operators, driving large scale digital connectivity and technology led transformation across millions of customers nationwide. So please welcome Deepti Saini, Head of Engineering at Global Foundries, Sumitra Chatterjee, Senior Manager, Software Engineering at Guidewire Software, Sibi Vinu Thomas, General Manager, HR, Talent Acquisition at Vodafone Idea. And we also have Kavita S., VP HR at CareerNet, who will guide us through what promises to be an insightful and thought provoking discussion. A little bit about Kavita. So Kavita is, been with CareerNet Consulting and bringing over 15 years of experience in human resource and people strategy, with a sharp focus on talent, leadership development, and organizational effectiveness. She is known for balancing business priorities with employee experience. Kavita drives scalable HR framework that enables sustainable growth and long-term impact. She brings deep expertise across talent acquisition, workforce planning, and culture building, and is passionate about creating workplaces where both people and performance thrive. Kavita holds a BSc in electronics and an executive post graduation qualification in HR management from IIM Kozhikode. Over to you, Kavita.
Thank you, Preeta. Good morning, everyone. It is my privilege to be moderating the panel today. A warm welcome to all our esteemed panelists. So we had a very interesting conversation and a keynote address by Viber. And, when he ended the conversation, it was about career is not a race. It is about, a journey. It is a long journey, in fact, which covers, the aspirations of the individual along with the context of the world around you, right? So that's how, and a lot of insights that he shared. Equally, we have a very, very intriguing topic today. If the last decade was about breaking ceilings, the next decade is about building power in a very sustainable, strategic, and visible manner. The rules of work are shifting faster than ever, right? We're talking about AI, we're talking about automation, we're talking about new business models, all of these changing the leadership expectation. The question is no longer, can women succeed? The real question is, how do we stay relevant, lead boldly, and grow without burning out? So today's conversation is not about any generic advice. It is about real strategies, real risks, and the real power that moves for the next decade. To basically explore this entire thing, we are joined by an exceptional panel of women leaders who bring with them deep experience, diverse journeys, and hard-earned insights. They've navigated complexity, taken risks, built teams, and shaped impact. And today, they will share with us their perspectives and lived experiences throughout. It is my pleasure to introduce the incredible woman who will be leading this conversation with us today. General Manager HR, Talent Acquisition at Vodafone Idea, Sibi Vinu Thomas. She has been with we for over 6 years and brings overall 25 years of experience in HR, talent acquisition across IT services, pharmaceuticals, international RPO, and manufacturing, both in India and internationally. At we, she leads key talent acquisition priorities, driving business-aligned hiring strategies, strengthening gender balance across the organization, and spearheading TA transformational initiatives. Welcome, Sibi. The next panelist, Head of Engineering, Global Foundries, Deepti Saini. She brings over 25 years of industry experience and currently heads the Global Shuttle MPW operations for Global Foundries customers worldwide. She combines strong technical expertise with a strategic vision focused on driving operational excellence across global programs. An active member of the Global Foundries Women ERG, she's deeply committed to fostering diversity, inclusion, and women's empowerment within the organization and broader tech community. Welcome, Deepti. Senior Manager, Senior Manager Software Engineering at Guidewire Software, Sumitra Chatterjee. She's a software developer and problem solver at heart with over 17 years of experience building and contributing to distributed applications across the telecom, internet, and cloud platform domains. She has served as product owner for core, high-impact products in recent years and currently leads teams with the Guidewire Cloud Data Platform. A warm welcome to all three of you once again. So today's, just to set the context, today's panel discussion will run for approximately about 40 minutes, followed by a 20-minute Q&A session. We invite everybody to share their questions in the chat window throughout the discussion, and we'll take them up during the Q&A segment at the end of the segment with our panelists. Okay. So broadly, today's questions will be focused on the topic which Preeta already mentioned, right? The next decade of women at work and what it takes to lead and grow and stay relevant. So let me start with the first question. Deepti, I would like you to take it up. This is about the reality check. What career strategies that worked a decade or 5 to 10 years ago will not work in the next decade, right? What career risks are worth taking in the next decade? Over to you, Deepti.
Thank you, Kavita. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for the introduction, and I'm happy to be here as a panelist. So this is a good question that you have raised, because for the early and the mid-career women, right? They are generally carrying forward with a similar mindset that,
Deepti, we are unable to hear you.
I think.
How about now?
Yeah, we are able to hear you. You may want to use one device, Deepti, in case using two devices is creating the issue.
So can we start with Sumitra? Meanwhile, Deepti, can you fix that if that's
How about
okay?
now?
Yeah,
Now
it is better.
yes,
It's better now?
yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, it's better, Deepti.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
thank you for that question, Kavita. So I
Sure.
will quickly just reframe my opinion on this, that
Sure.
5 to 10 years ago, right, the career growth have rewarded us the stability, the deep expertise, and very silent execution that, women used to move forward with. But the next decade definitely rewards visibility, the adaptability, and the strategic courage that women show at workplace. Now, this shift is subtle, but it is very profound, I would say. There are a couple of points that comes to my mind. Generally, earlier women used to work, keeping this point in mind, that my work will speak for itself, as a very common understanding, But if you just giving an example from my engineering domain, with myself, right, what I had gone through, what I had experienced is that while I was working in a tape out team, I used to just think about that, yes, I have worked in a semiconductor organization, I am delivering my tape outs, that speaks all about it, and I don't have to do anything. But it's not my work now. If you look out one decade from now, and maybe from today as well, it is about your visibility, right? How are you presenting directly to your customers, and how are you leading your cross functional reviews? You have to own your escalations, your reviews, your narratives, and how are you relating your work to the business impact that you are creating or bringing to your organization. That is something which will help you in the longer run, in the upcoming decades. And then women used to feel like, they believed in working hard. And you would have seen, most of the times in the performance reviews, people used to, uh, add to anybody's referrals about if there is a promotion being happening, that okay, this person is a hard working person. But let me tell you, in the next decade, it is not the hard work that will pay, but it will be more of a smart work, because you all know that automation, innovation, and efficiency improvements are something, which everybody is looking upon. So position, you all have to think about that. You have to position yourself in a center where there is an AI transformation, where there is a digital strategy is coming up, or where there is a talent happening, there is a business model shift happening, right? So be where the change is happening and not where it is being resisted, because resisting any change will, uh, will stagnate your growth, and nobody will look forward onto you. So, and also coming out of your comfort zone, just, just sitting behind and feeling like, your work is very stable, and it will, you are comfort enough to continue with it. So let me tell you, the safe roles, they really build your futures. But it is only the leaders who take the risk and come out of their comfort zone. They that will help you to grow in your future. Don't rely on a job security, rather try to build on your skills, right? And if you secure your skills, the organizational roles that are transforming, the functions that are continuously growing these days, they will guarantee you career, because you are building your capabilities by growing your skills. So it's worth taking. So I think the second part of your question was that what kind of some strategies that we should take forward. So
Or
I
what
would,
kind of career risks as well
yeah,
that you could
yeah,
take?
yeah. So some of the career risk is, yes, stop being in a stable roles, because stability is not a future. You should look for a high impact and high visible roles that will accelerate your visibility and definitely will give you growth. Create a bandwidth, know what others are doing, right? Across culture domain exposure. If you increase your breadth, it will definitely give you an exposure to leaders, exposure to growth. Start taking risks, because I know risks are not easy, but yes,
Yeah.
calculated ones, right? Small and intentional, because there has to be a safety net around you. You cannot just simply blind and jump from anything and everything. So that's what we should think about, taking risk, because we don't need permission to grow. Rather, we need preparation and courage to take
Yeah.
risks.
Yeah, definitely agree with you, Deepti. In fact, I recall one of my friend who's a woman leader, and some of the things that you mentioned, right? So don't look for, people end up saying that, okay, when I'm having a performance appraisal discussion, that okay, you're dependable, you are reliable, but however, you're not strategic, you're not influential. So she went through this journey, and then obviously took those risks, upskilled herself, and she's a great woman leader now. So definitely, I mean, some very nice insights that you provided. Sumitra, would you want to add something, some inputs for this
Absolutely.
additionally?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me here, CareerNet, and Kavita, thanks for the intro. And very, very well-rounded, Deepti. I think you covered a lot that we kind of want to do. And I think every other woman, let's say on this call today, who's been able to make time, that shows intention. That
Yeah.
is one thing that we should always remember, that what you want, you will get it. And the limitation is only us and within us. We will be able to, as women leaders in itself, doesn't matter which job, which role that you're in, you're already a leader. So
Yeah.
the first thing, like Deepti said, go beyond, have that courage, take that risk. The max risk that you can take is not take any risk at all. So
Yeah, well
definitely go
said.
by
Yeah.
taking risks. That's something that is required. And growth, I think we tend to define growth the way it has been defined over years and decades, and that is changing and changing at a very fast pace. Growth is not always linear and vertical. It is horizontal, and the breadth that Deepti was talking about. You don't have to restrict yourself to one domain. You don't have to restrict yourself to one tech stack, one technology. Why don't you just pair up with, let's say, somebody who's in the sales team and say how the customer reacts? You would know how the end customer or the end consumer is looking at your product. These are very, very beautiful insights, which we fail to realize when we bring ourselves from our home where we are literally, 10 hands like Goddess Durga. But when we come to the workplace, we kind of constrict ourselves and restrain ourselves. Let's not do that. We have all the power. Let's just power it out. So that's one. And then other piece that Deepthi mentioned, visibility. Work will speak for itself, yes, volumes, but you need to have platforms to project that out.
Yeah.
While the leaders are always there to support for such creation of platforms, we heard wonderful from Weber that ABB is bringing up Unpause. So these are a lot of great platforms, but there might be occasions when you do not have a platform at all. Why don't you create one?
Mm.
Just gather 4 people, gather in a meeting room, share the idea that you have, you demo the piece that you would like to share. You do not have to create something big and fancy. It could be short and sweet as well to at least start somewhere, start today. Don't look yourself back and then just pat your back all the time that you can't do it. There's no leaving around, or there's no limits is what I would say. So I have dabbled with mature startups, uh, taken 3 a.m., 4 a.m. calls with respect to production issues, but all of that has given a lot of experience that comes in handy. But the next moment that you put in that, you know that you can actually do it well. So, and never ever fear to fail. That is the stepping stone to success, is what I would say. Always.
Correct,
Yeah.
right? That I think not limiting yourself with the constraints, right? Looking beyond is something very, very important. Great, thank you. Sabi, would you want to add?
Yeah, both of them have kind of covered a lot of things.
Lot.
One small thing that I would want to add in is, like, Sumitra mentioned, pulling a couple of people into a room and,
Yeah.
sharing your idea and taking it ahead. Uh, One thing that any company today or any organization today is looking for is your ability to provide solution to any problem, big or small. So
Mm.
solution bent of mind, your ability to design things, your ability, even Dipti spoke about taking risk, going out of your, domain, cross-functional discussions. What is in for my stakeholder or my customer? The end result. So these are some of the things that, as women, or for anybody for that matter, we are looking for in any organization that people are wanting to, be there, build their careers. So yes, the glass ceiling is broken. Now it's the time to fly and
Yeah.
spread our wings. So that is a great journey for all the women, and I'm very excited to see that how the women are transforming. It's like today the young kids, young generation is trying to transform so much. From the time we come, we were we had restrictions, we had our boundaries that we used to think, oh, this is like Dipti also mentioned that we used to think whether my work, should I talk about it or not. So today it's about visibility also. So yeah, it well rounded, well covered by all the panelists. Yeah,
Sure.
that's what I
Just
would want to
to
say.
add on, and when you spoke about idea, even within our org, there were a few people who came together. While they came up with an idea, they said, why can't we give this an opportunity for everybody? So we have something called Eureka as an initiative where, constantly people are reminded that, even a smallest idea can contribute in a significant way, right? It's nothing about big or small in terms of an idea. And that's how you give an opportunity to people to think beyond, right? Yeah, great. Great, nice inputs from all three of you. So moving on to the next question. Okay, it is about staying relevant in an extremely fast changing world, right? So from that standpoint, the question is to Sumitra. How should professionals decide what to upskill in when there is AI and automation, or when there is new tools, and there's so much of constant noise about all of these tools, right? So that is the first question to that. And then the follow-up question would be that what skills are becoming non-negotiable across industries, not just in tech? Yeah.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I think AI is the buzzword that we have all around. We have been using this, I think, close to 2 to 3 years now when ChatGPT 1.0 came in, and we were all playing with it or not playing with it, or at least hearing about it. And look at us today.
Um,
Almost everybody is using it in personal and professional capacity. That is probably one of the skills that we need to know about. If
mm,
not using it, when I say use, it's not about just asking, let's say, what is the 5 things that I need to do as part of the presentation that I need to build today. Maybe
mm,
not just that. Let's go
mm,
beyond, try to understand what is exactly behind the scenes,
mm,
knowing more about it and applying it. Knowledge does not have a relevance if it is not applied and if it does not have a practical outcome which is measured to it. And that is where I would encourage almost everybody, which is also a non-negotiable item going forward, is continuous learning. There is no way that we can run away from this, and there's
mm,
no way that we can use the ostrich method that I cannot do this because this doesn't belong to my domain. Irrespective which domain we are from, it is there, it is coming. Let's use the learning to be the best what we can of ourselves. So that's one.
mm,
Use maybe whatever courses we have around. It could be your own learning platforms in your organizations. In our organization, we have types with LinkedIn and O'Reilly, where there's a bunch of things that is going on. We get to hear about context graphs and whatnot. Uh,
mhm,
but not everything is applicable. Start small, maybe take a Udemy course or a Coursera one, pick up a book. All of that is available. Go through a video. It hardly takes few minutes of your time. That's one. The second piece that I would definitely say is we have a strong approach towards empathy. Uh,
mhm.
as leaders, as women, that is a power we should use. And that will never be replaced by something like AI until it literally becomes another human and then a woman. I
Yeah,
think that is irreplaceable, which
yeah,
means when we were discussing this earlier, when women workforce started, I think it was just about participation long, long years ago, centuries ago. But then later on, it became okay, this is something that this a person as a woman can do way better than probably a men counterpart. So she's the go-to problem solver. Let's give it to her and she'll get it done.
yeah.
With AI, the AI is getting it done. Then where do we stand? What is
Right.
our strength? So empathy comes around, and that is what we should use as our strength. Use it in our thoughts, structure our strategies in a manner that we know what we are asking AI to do is the right thing versus just using it to ask something to get done. So those two pieces that I would say is structural, prioritize learning, make it continuous, even if it is 20 minutes of a day. I would encourage everybody to do that. I do that every day so that we are able to move forward together.
Yeah.
And last but not the least, I think reading every day, even if it is on a Kindle, let's try to get to it. That opens up doors which we think are not even existent. And
Yeah.
which is where I would say those are 3 things that
Three
always
things.
come to my mind.
No, very
Yeah.
interesting, Sumitra. In fact, when you spoke about empathy, I mean, it's a very, very powerful weapon, I would say, and extremely important. Great. I think all three points that you shared are definitely very, very impactful when one is working towards a journey, right? Great. Sabi, would you want to add something?
Yeah. Sumitra spoke about being digital, reading,
Reading.
also about understanding the ecosystem from a future perspective, right? So I'll add a bit of acquisition element into it. What do companies look for when anybody, specifically, I'm not quoting only gender as women, anybody for that matter. So and how does things move when the AI comes into picture? So initially, if you look at acquisition, it was more about cognitive ability of the person, the functional understanding, the functional skill set of the person, and then come also the behavior aspect. So these are three elements when you look for how the person, the value system, the ecosystem, how do they fit into the culture of my organization, all of it. Now with AI coming in, the first two parts kind of is like, okay, there are certain set of the functions which can be done by AI, you know, which will not remain. The cognitive ability kind of gets connected to the AI piece, right? Now, as Sumitra said, empathy. What does people look for now? People look for behaviors. So, what kind of behaviors? Agility, adaptability, speed, trust, the boldness, the what they bear, what values we stands for. These are something that Vodafone Idea stands for. And what I'm trying to connect is that people should start building their learnings around the behaviors, because we are hardwired as individuals. We grew up with certain set of value systems in our environments that come from. So when we have that, it's very difficult to change behaviors. But what AI is making us do is to work towards those behaviors. What will drive results? What are those behaviors that will drive results? What are those behaviors that the customer wants or our stakeholders are looking for? So these are some of the smaller elements, which were small part of the acquisition of talent. Now it's becoming the bigger part of it. So in every woman who is on the call, and start building in those. So reading, take up small projects which are maybe cross functional projects, which gives you an understanding about the ecosystem inside the organization from a stakeholder perspective or a customer perspective. So these are some of the things, and Vodafone Idea believes in that. And they're doing a lot of we have a robust internal mobility program, wherein we work looking at not only horizontal or not only vertical, horizontal, even cross-functional opportunities inside the organization where people can develop themselves. So we are a company which is into tech, and we call ourselves Techo Plus Plus now. It's like tech, no, as well as there is elements of other parts of it as well. So we are uh, we touching base every sector inside in the ecosystem of business, right? So these are some of the behaviors that as a prospective employer and as well as a prospective business that anybody will look for the future. So
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to add.
Sure. No, that's a great input. I think, most of us focus majorly on building up our skills very specific to, say, the role, technical and all that. But end of the day, your behavioral aspects like collaboration, teamwork, ownership, or your ability to, adapt very quickly, all of these become very important, as you want to look at, a long-term career progression for oneself. Yeah, great. Very nice inputs, Sibi. Yeah, Deepti.
So I must say, Sumitra and Sibi, both of them have articulated this very well. Since everybody, all the women or men, everybody whosoever is working, or maybe it's students also who are in their learning journey, right? We are in an era where AI is a buzzword. Everybody is feeling that, okay, what shall I learn? What new skill shall I develop so that I am on top of everything? But I think the right question that I keep telling my team members, and I would also be recommending everybody who's listening to us, is that ask a question that what tool should not about what tool we should learn, but what capability we should build that will make you irreplaceable. Because if you see today, there is a new tool around you, there is a new framework around you, there will be something new that comes up every then and now. There are a lot of certification trends around you. You just don't have to run around, chase each and everything. But I would say the first question that comes to my mind is that ask your leaders, ask your I would say your next level managers, and understand that what problem trend is emerging in your industry. Build skills around that and solve that, because that should bring up the business impact. And when I talk about personal level, you just don't have to learn you just don't have to learn how AI works, but rather you have to work with AI. As Sumitra said, right, that learning is something, knowledge is something that will go along with you. So learning agility, I think, is very important, because if you know, and if you are adapting to new things around you, then you will be able to challenge AI. You will be able to get the things done well with AI, right? So that learning and that knowledge is very important. And being working at GF, I would just want to bring up one thing, that GF has introduced this program called as Ignite AI, where they are
Mhm.
touching each and every employee and making them at least well versed with a tool that we are using as an enterprise level. And uh, every employee, it is a mandatory training, so that it's a first level training, and there are certain more levels as an advanced level based on their domain of work. If they are into analytics, if they are into some other domain, so how it helps them. So uh, slowly, step by step, I would say, if you are agile, if you start adapting to your work, you can easily leverage AI as a tool. But there are certain skills which I believe that AI cannot still do, and which is still accepted in the market, is invest in human skills, HCB said, because AI cannot replace human skills like emotional resilience, like decision making. AI will give you lots of data, loads of data, but if there is something, if your numbers are not doing good, your company is not doing well, then who will take a call, right? The decision has to come from you. So you have to strategically think and make decisions and communicate the influence, and think strategically that how can you utilize the data you are receiving it from AI. So these are some skills which are non-negotiable, which you have to build on your own, instead of just running around the certifications and leveraging AI everywhere. So
Sure.
something to deal with.
Great, great. So we're talking about one key aspect, which is a takeaway, is continuous learning. And then not only focus on knowledge, but also about how well you can apply it and adapt it in the context of, where you are and what role and what would help, right? And the third thing is definitely focusing on, evolving yourself as an individual when it comes to all the elements of behaviors, right? And especially emotional resilience is a very, very important aspect as well. Great, great. That's really interesting. Okay. So the next question, I would request Sibi to take it up. And this is, about sponsorship and power moves, right? So what is the difference between mentorship and sponsorship in real terms? And how can women very clearly, very intentionally build sponsors, not just supporters, right? Sibi?
Yeah. Thank you, Kavita. This is a very interesting question,
Question.
and it kind of comes from all that we were talking in the beginning, from the beginning.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
sponsors, so the basic, from a very basic understanding perspective of, if I talk about mentors who are basically your guides, or who will talk with you, work with you within your workspace itself. Whereas sponsors will be basically, you will be advocating or talk for you, or will work, can come from not necessarily your own domain, can come from your in your space of work, in your own domain space of work. It can come from cross functional teams as well. They play a very important role while you are taking, if you want to take and move those risks that you want to take, when you are when we were talking about it. So when you want to move to something which is very high visible, something wherein you want to create an opportunity for within the organization, or even when you are moving vertically or looking for a promotion within the organization, your
Mhm.
sponsors are the ones who make a lot of difference, because they are the one who will be advocating, they'll be talking for you. So there have been a lot of influence in my own career, if I were to talk about. So there has been a lot of so if I say power moves, it's not only vertical, it's about being, it can be horizontal as well.
Yeah.
So in my career, if I were to look at, I have moved very much in terms of industries.
Mhm.
So industries to understand, and these are people whom I was so connected with when it came to. So when I was joining telecom, and it was in the time of 2018-19. So everybody were saying, hey, telecom is not a space to get into right now because it's not doing good. So because 2012 to 2000, you see 18-19, it's only after COVID that you see that telecom is becoming a talk of the town.
Top
So
of the
before
top.
that, everybody was like, oh, you are in a stable career in IT. Why do you
Mm.
want to get into something, which is very unstable, which is not, doesn't have a. But then one of my, coach, or one of my go-to person whenever I have any issues, the person said, see, country is changing into digital, country is changing into something which is data driven, right?
Mm.
So where does the underlying things be? It's going to be telecom, so it is the right space to get into. It may not be looking very glorious right now, but then
Mhm.
it will be. Yeah. So that is the power of your sponsorship, to give you that advice, give you, it can come from your mentor also, but then to push you to the next to this thing in terms of opportunities. That's where the power of sponsorship comes in. And strategically, looking at where my opportunities lie. So initially, earlier, Sumitra and Diti also mentioned that it should be more um, uh, leadership. It should be about visibility, functionality, relating to the work which is business driven. So
Mhm.
sponsorship helps you that, give you that advice where the business is moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very important to look at. So each one should have a mentor which will guide you, help you in your work, your day-to-day work,
Mm.
but then build sponsors that will kind you take you forward more. So that's what I would say the key difference between a sponsor and a mentor would be. Um, so you also spoke about burnout, right? Or
No.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not right away, but yeah, in case
Yeah.
you want
So
to add
that's
something
something which
there.
I would say
But
that, yeah.
how do they intentionally build that? So, and that's what
Yeah,
you
yeah.
rightly said, that
So I
work with
would
huh,
rather close by this particular piece by saying that either convert your mentors into your sponsors,
sponsor. Okay.
or you should have sponsors which industry agnostic of industry, agnostic of your own organizations, so that you pick up the right opportunities and the right careers that anyone is aspiring for. And so when I say behaviors also, there are behaviors which contribute to this when you're making the career moves,
Mm.
while you are having sponsors and mentors.
Mm.
So we as individuals or women have to start thinking more enterprise.
Mm.
We need to think more enterprise. We need to also sometimes we are very emotional as human beings. Women are very emotional. So one of the things that sometimes we miss out is speaking with clarity. What do we want? To understand, to know that what is it that we want. When we identify what we want is when things asking for it. So what we
Yeah.
shy away from is also, we don't ask. Okay, we keep doing what it comes. So very importantly, you need to manage that visibility piece, asking, speaking with clarity, asking what you want, specifically, and making, demonstrating that you have the all the capability to handle pressure. That is another one, which is very important when it comes to building your career and moving ahead. Having mentors speak or your advocates speak for you. These are some
Yeah.
of the qualities which will, because your sponsor is taking a risk. That's
Yeah.
another difference. The
Correct.
sponsor
Correct.
takes a risk for you, whereas your mentor will not take a risk for you. So when
Mm.
you exhibit these qualities is when your sponsor will take a risk for you and talk about you. That there is a that's the basic difference that we should follow, and the behaviors that we should build on ourselves, so that this kind of promoting you becomes easier for the person.
Easier. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So
like that.
building. credibility and, being able to position yourself well to move forward,
Yes.
and by the sponsor
Yep.
helping you. Great, great. Yeah, sure. Deepti, would you want to add something?
Yes, Sibi, I think you covered and you summed it very well. So I think we all know the difference between mentoring and sponsorship. So mentors basically will prepare you on top level if you think, but sponsors are something that will help you progress in your career and will help you promote. So they are the ones, sponsors are the ones which will speak for you in the closed rooms when you're not around. That is a bigger difference. Whereas mentors will work very closely, they will keep giving you advices, keep giving you feedbacks, right? They will build your skills and confidence as well, but it is the sponsors that can open the doors for you which you cannot open for yourself. And there is a saying which I also believe, that women are often over mentored than sponsored, right? So it is
Yeah.
uh, it is really very important for us to find out and convert these mentors into sponsors. And there are couple of ways which you can do that, and I have done for myself in the industry, which I would like to share here, is that you have to deliver your performance very consistently, and it should make visible impacts. That's the first thing, because this is the only way you can build your credibility, because you
Mm,
can only ask for advocacy, from your sponsors only when you are building your credibility. Second, and the very most important thing, is we are silent workers, we should not do that. We have to communicate our aspirations, bring them on the table very clearly. We keep on just assuming that somebody will come to us and will ask us that, okay, how about your future? We don't have to wait for that question to come to us. Rather, we should bring that first thing on our table. What does it take for me, to move to the next level? And
mm,
ask your mentors that, what would it take for you to sponsor me? So that is very important. That's the first step that every woman should take. Not just wait for years and sitting and assuming that somebody will come and ask for you, but just take a one step ahead, and then you will definitely get a sponsor.
great. Sumitra?
I think lovely words and very impactful as well, Deepti and Sivi. There's one thing that actually reminded me when Deepti said, be consistent. So, the first step when we're looking towards a mentor or a sponsor is we're trying to gain their trust. How do we gain their trust in the first place when you don't even possibly know? You might have mentors in your workplace, and you might also want to expand and get mentors in the network as well. So when there is no association or a known association, how do you build that trust? I think consistency over there plays a very, very vital role,
Mm,
wherein the say-do ratio that we typically call has to be 100%. We
yeah,
cannot keep saying and not do things that we said we would do. And by the way, we have to follow that in our personal and professional life, so there's no disconnect. That will literally bring in the strength and the growth that we are looking for. And like Deepti mentioned, be intentional about it. Please don't assume. Uh,
assume.
Nobody is a mind reader, and we would all like to hear more from folks, understand. And I think the best thing that helped me, and I also keep telling my teams, is please build your career goals like it's your project. It is, every career is and goals are supposed to be project meeting outcomes, and raise red flags when you think you're blocked with your immediate mentors, sponsors, managers, however you would like to move forward. But do that. Being intentional always helps. So that is something that I would like to highlight. On that note, at Guidewire, which is also one of the few things that I really, really love about the org, is very strong ERG, and we recently started off with a revised mentorship and mentee program. So be a mentor and a mentee at the same time, and you'll probably get a double boost of things, giving and receiving, which I think as women we are very good at. So I think we should definitely look at it.
Oh, great, great. I think very inspiring, all three of you, especially in this segment of the question, which is about mentorship and sponsorship, mostly, like how, each one of you are saying that, well, mentor is equally important, but how do you shift the mentor into your sponsor, right? So moving from your high competence, which is there, like you are definitely there doing, you're getting guided, mentored, and all of that, but how are you able to shift that into a little more, I would say, a strategic value. And then, somebody is able to sponsor you, advocate for you, and all that. Great, very inspiring. Great. Thank you for those inputs. I'm sure is very, very useful for our audience today. Now we'll move into the Q&A session. We have questions on the chat window, and I'll probably take few questions. We'll see how many we are able to take it up now. So the first question is from Rekha. Okay. She has this question that what's the most important thing a woman can do to truly balance everything in life? Okay. Often the years when she's expected to grow her career are the same years when the major personal milestones like marriage and motherhood also happen. And I think all of us would have gone through that in either our own personal journeys, or we would have seen that happening with our people around us. So managing both at once can feel overwhelming. How can women navigate this phase while still prioritizing their ambitions and well-being? Any insights or suggestions? Who would want to take this up?
Let me
Great.
just,
Deepti,
yeah. So,
please.
Rekha, very good question, and it is a very common problem all of us are facing. Not even the early mid-career women, but even the senior leaders in the industry. I believe that they hide because they are at a level where they just have to focus on their company business impact. But definitely at the background, there this is a major common problem. But what I can just simply say, whether my formula works for you or not, but I can just share what my formula is. I know that we are having multiple responsibilities of managing teams and managing the conflicts, as well as running the business, making deliveries happen. And also at the back, we are managing our family and our work. And it becomes really sometimes very overwhelming, very difficult. But there are few things to look around is that uh, prioritize your work, right? You have to understand what is priority for you and what is not. Generally women get confused with what is urgent and what is important. So try and understand that where the urgency is and what is important. Something which is very urgent, that is the one thing that you have to pick first, and the important things can be taken up later, right? So understand the business urgency and respond to that, but don't cater to everything. Try to delegate some of your work if you have a team below you, or if you have even if you are a individual contributor, you can always ask for help, because it is not a weakness for asking for help, because you can always show the challenges you are going through and get something done from somebody else. You can guide, you can articulate what is expected out of it, ask for help at a right point of time, and then make a habit of setting a right attitude of saying no when you have to say no. Because
Right.
saying no again is not a problem for it. People will take you for granted if you just keep taking things on your plate. Last thing is block your calendar for your family, for your loved ones, right? So that nobody will disturb you at that time. You can also do a critical thinking, give some time for yourself and your loved ones within your work schedule, maybe 1 hour or something. When your child comes back from school and you have to just give some attention to them, block that time, and nobody will ask you and nobody will question you, because you are setting a standard for them, right? This
Yeah.
is what I also promote for my team members, and this will in a longer run will help you.
Great. Sure. Thank you,
So
Deepti.
I would like to add something which, based on what Dipti said, for
Sure.
finding that time for yourself. Okay, and so for the first basic question, each of us, who are participants, and I keep asking to myself is that, what is my ambition? What is it that I want? First, when you clearly define, acceleration is not the only recipe for success, is what I would say. So, if I take my example, when my kid was small, I took a calculated decision to take a break of 4 years. The reason being that that was most important element in my life at that point of time, because that's the stepping stone for my child, the 4 years. My career is a rubber ball which can come back, but my family is a crystal ball which will break if it falls. So, the most important element for every woman who is dwelling within this, problem statement that, oh, something will happen to my career if I take this break. No, You enhance yourself. You
Mm.
develop yourself during that period of time. You learn new skills. You can take up assignments, small assignments, which can balance it. Okay, that's one phase. Now I'm at a phase wherein I started my doctorate. Now where do I fit my timing? Your everyday work. So for everybody who is right now in their career and wanting to move ahead and want to shift something, and I want to do something different, find that time in your daytime. In your day. Okay, your entire day is packed up. Can I build a ecosystem within my day wherein 1 hour in a day can be spent? Like Sumitra was also saying that she makes it a point that she reads every day. So that is what gives. So reading, education is always said to be the passport to success. So please, everybody on the call, and that's estimate, inclusion of that particular time period that you can spend for yourself in the
Correct.
learning aspect during your day, and also calculating where you want to go. What are your ambitions, in as I said earlier. Now how do
Yeah.
we also ensure that we are not uh, you know losing out on our family piece and our time, that balancing that act? Support system, as Dipti mentioned, very important. You should have support system. Secondly is, timing it, and saying that, oh hey, this day of the week, or this is non-negotiably for all the other things apart from my work. So if you are able to, you know curate boundaries, clear boundaries, delegate some of the tasks which, as you said, in your workspace, and when you are having that commitment of balancing between your family and your work, it works beautifully for you. So every woman who are to leaders today, whom we also look up to, are balancing all these things so that they are there. So
Mm.
that's something, the recipe. So Rekha, good question. We're all dealing with that. So we should. You are
Sure,
also.
sure. Great, great.
I'll just add 2 points over here, and thank you so much, Deepthi and Sibi, for sharing that, and Rekha for the question. Uh, Somewhere I remember discussing this long, long back, and this is again a topic that keeps on revisiting. It's not just about time management; it's also about energy management. There are times in our days when we are very high on energy, maybe mornings, first halves, and then there are times when we are low on energy. Sometimes even second halves for some people might be very high energy. That is not something that anybody can tell. They can share. All of us can share our own individuals. We might have varied ways of responding to work and tasks. That is something that we should identify within our schedule. And like you said, blocking calendars, that has been an absolute mantra for me too. And that works like a gem. Nobody is going to ask you, why have you blocked this calendar? If they would really need some help and it is urgent, they would ask you, and you always have the option to say yes or no. So the choice is always ours, it's always in our power. So that is something that we should always look at. And the second piece is, there is no negotiation about physical and mental well-being. Please look out for opportunity, every other opportunity that you have in your day, to figure out how to get to that. Because if I am not well, from a physical or a mental capacity, I will not be 100% to give back to my personal or professional positions that and roles that I play in. And that would not make any person happy. So at the end of the day, we should always look at being happy, and that happiness can only be derived with well-being. And with that, I think one point that Weber mentioned, uh, performance comes does not come at a cost of safe and secure and
Yeah.
well-being for organizations. I am literally lucky to have had experience in organizations where there's been so much support for well-being. We have done literally push-ups right in the middle of the office just for a quick well-being week. Uh, don't miss this opportunity. These are fun times, happy times. There's no negotiable point over there.
Yeah. Oh, well said. And I think I reckon that I think most important things would be around, focusing on self, and, the emotional and physical well-being becomes very, very important. And then obviously the rest of the things in terms of prioritizing and, blocking calendars, all that definitely, makes wonders. Okay. We have another question. This is from Deepa. I want to make a career change, But I feel certifications alone won't help me secure a job since organizations usually ask for relevant experience. How should I approach this? I think, Sumitra, you can start with it. I think,
Sure.
yeah.
So I've had multiple questions like this in the past. I have been through this journey myself as well, where I want to upskill myself. I really want to build an app. I've built an app with Flutter. I've learned Flutter, but what do I do with it now? There's nobody who's taking an apps, and there's no domain specific knowledge that I'm carrying with that small project. Now, how do we go about it? Let's do internship. Take internship. Possibly do free projects. It's all the way. Kaggle is your go-to place for that. Start somewhere, and when you are projecting this thing in your resume as an upskill, and you've already done a certification, mention what is the problem that you were solving when you were putting it. Let's not put solutions to problems. Let's solve the problems at the first place, because not everything is an answer to question. It's something that we have to very, very critically say that, okay, I'm building an app. I love reading books, but I have read so many books that I don't remember. I'm building an app to remember myself which books I have read. Let's say I'm solving that problem for myself. But when you do that with an intention, I think that's one of the first places. And project that in your resume, which turns out to be outcome based. It could be business oriented, very small pieces if you're already at your workplace, maybe solve the tiny pieces. Um, I'll just give a very quick example. We love having updates. All leadership looks for updates. All engineers have to give updates. Why can't we automate this process altogether? Let's start small. And there's no problem which is small. So I think that's one of the key elements.
Sure. Sure. Great. Sibi or Diti, would you like to add something?
Yeah. So another interesting stuff that if you have learned a new skill and you are looking for opportunities wherein to use it. So if like Sumitra mentioned about picking up a small task and kind of getting it converted, you can also be part of those groups or meetups or those you have these beautiful aggregators wherein your codes can be discussed, like a GitHub you're part of. You can go and see where those problem statements are, and today many of the companies are hiring from those platforms. So since I come from a talent acquisition space in technology, when I look for people, I go to those spaces and see, hey, who are my potential candidates who are contributing? And a Stack Overflow where if you have the point system that you have, who's a good person. So even before your resume picks it up, you get picked up on those kind of platforms. Be part of meetups where these kind of discussions happens on the subject that you've learned. You can contribute yourself. There you will find avenues that people will understand and know that you have this skill set, and you will be able to get that opportunity that you wanted to get. So that's what I would want to add.
Sure.
One
Great.
small pointer from my end is that this is a very common problem, and generally people hesitate to change their careers because of not knowing that skill set where they are trying to enter, right? So one thing that you can always build is networking. Try and network with the people of your age group, of your experience level, and understand that what organizations are working on that specific domain where you want to enter. Do your self study, do a lot of background studies to understand what is that organization into, what is that role, what does it requires. And then when you go for your interviews, even if they're looking for a, I would say, an experienced candidate, you have to be very transparent enough to tell that yes, I know what the background, but I need some in job kind of a training, and within 3 months I will be able to bring value on the table, because I know that I have to ramp up on this thing. So there is no harm in asking, but at least do your homework well, make your networks, understand what organizations are doing, what are they working on, and where you have to study. And I know definitely certifications are not, will give you a practical similar practical experience that every organization or a talent team is expecting out of you. So take one step ahead and understand what is required.
Sure. Great. I think that's more practical and bang on in terms of inputs coming in from all of you. We'll take one last question and we'll wrap it up. We have Poni Lakya asking how to overcome the hesitancy to make ourselves visible.
Uh, I will just add to this thing. I was also part of the similar uh, problem. And
Hmm?
every woman and every man, I think mostly women I've seen, men are outspoken. So we always have one fear in our mind that what if we sound stupid or we are imperfect in something. Let me tell
Hmm.
you, we are just perfectly imperfect. Start accepting yourself the way you are, and there is no harm in raising your voice and asking for what you need. And there is no question is a bad question. Everybody, brings up in all the forums, all the meetings, no question is a bad question. And I think do a little bit of homework wherever you are going, in whatever meetings or whatever agendas you are attending, right? Ask good questions. People will remember you by your name, that okay, this person has come up with such a good question. And then just I know that there are a lot of hiccups. People don't feel like openly speaking out, but
Mhm.
nothing is bad. And don't just feel that what if something goes wrong. At the max, if you ask a wrong question, people will just simply correct you, but they will
Yeah.
not carry your name or something ahead. That's the that's the shell that you everybody has to come out of it slowly.
Yeah,
But
the
start
removing the
accepting.
bias.
Yeah,
Yeah,
start accepting yourself, and I think it'll be easier for you.
sure. Great. Sibi and Sumitra, you want to add?
So one of the very important, learnings I had during my journey is that the only recipe to overcome any, stay fear about asking a question is just ask it.
Mm,
Okay, just ask it. So you will not leave with the feeling that, hey, had I asked this question, my what I wanted to know would have been clearer to me. So
mm,
the recipe is that just ask it. So yeah, like Dipti mentioned, we need to be a little prepared about it, or so that we know about the subject and we are able to ask what we want to ask. And
yeah,
the second important element is that whom are you going to ask? It is asking a human being like you and me. So there is no no need to be feared about the fact that the other end is somebody whom you cannot ask. It's also a human being with all the imperfections that each of us have similar. So
yeah,
ask it. The only recipe to overcome your fear is to ask it, and second is to kind of you're asking to a human being. So
yeah.
so we were
So
also
mostly what happens is the hesitation comes because I think mostly women feel if I ask and what if I'm judged?
what
That,
if I'm
yeah. So, many a times that's what happens.
yeah.
Sure. Sumitra, you want to
Yeah,
add something?
so I think this is something that when I joined GuideWire, this is one of my first insights, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, preparedness always helps. Hard
Yeah.
work on that always helps. Sometimes we may not even be aware of what this particular, let's say, what we are meeting about. The agenda might be very new. You're very new to the knowledge that is being shared across on the floor. And that means you have myriad of questions about it from the experiences that we have had. The first thing that comes into play is everybody else knows about this. I don't know about it. If I ask, it will be a silly question. Uh,
Ah,
and that's the first bias we set in within ourselves. And
yeah.
that is what needs to be broken by us ourselves. So I did that. There was some discussion that was happening. I was new to the org. This was one of the first meetings, and I was the first one to ask the question. And it was a question. It just needed an answer. It is a curiosity that you're trying to figure out, and that just gave more questions coming into the play in the same direction. It might be like that. It might not pan out. That's okay. But
Mm,
asking questions is absolutely okay. Like Deepti and CB said, nobody is going to judge you for that. And when you ask questions, you also make yourself visible. That's a platform. Please
yeah.
always remember, you are trying to be as present as possible, mentally and physically, in that meeting that you're in or the floor that you're in. Own it, own those presence and moments. And then, of course, you'll be able to figure out what is something that's coming up in your mind and ask that question. Do not be having that bias in your mind that, no, this is something that a lot of people will think about, or maybe I'll ask this another thing. We don't ask it in the common floor. We'll go to
Yeah.
the organizer or to the leader who was speaking about it and then ask them in person, because I probably will sound very weird when I ask this question. No, there's nothing like that. And that is
Sure.
something that I got as a support from the leadership well
Great.
ahead in time
Great.
as well. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
So I
Awesome.
can't resist from saying this. Sorry, I'm getting in between. So one important thing for that kind of comes up is, for anything that we're talking about till now, is the element of curiosity.
Yeah.
So when you ask, a, a a question why, so the curiosity is something that you are, you know, reflecting and putting forth,
Putting
and that
forward.
is the most important behavior today when it comes to the future. Anything that you're wanting to learn in next 5 to 10 years, the keyword is curiosity. So that's what I would want to say, that asking questions why it's so important.
Great, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. It has been, uh, wonderful experience. Most importantly, all of you bringing in your, lived or live experiences and how you have actually applied, and, people being able to look up to you, because most of the times if you're just giving jargons, right? But all of you spoke about how it worked well for you. What are some things that, each one of you did, and that was very inspiring. Great. It has been a wonderful experience moderating this discussion. So, as we close, I think one message that stands out in all the discussions that we had today, uh, the next decade is just not going to be about rewarding effort alone, right? So it will basically be about rewarding courage or clarity, or the recent question talking about strategic visibility as well, right? So I think we must move on from being dependable to becoming more influential, and maybe from waiting to be noticed to becoming positioning ourselves intentionally, like we spoke about sponsorship and all that, and maybe from a constant hustle to something which Sumitra also called out, that sustainable ambition, having an ambition becomes very important. So I think as each one of the audience leaves today, I think they should talk about what risk will I take, what skill will I build, and what behavior will I stop normalizing, right? So those are some things which sums up all the elements of the discussion that we had today. Great. So the future of work isn't something about we are waiting for, it's something we shape and we look at leading it. Great. Thank you so much. Over to you, Preeta.
Thank you, Kavita. Wow, this was such a superb conversation, and I can see the passion everybody brings to this. I mean, just to recap and some takeaways I want to take personally, I mean, I'm sure people were taking notes. These are all women and leaders who've been doing it all and achieving it all. I know all of us have multiple hands at work and at home, but I think for me, some key takeaways were: don't resist any change, start taking more risk. Preparation and courage is so important and critical. Growth is not always linear. Create your own small projects, start somewhere. Never fear to fail. We all fall in our lives at multiple times. Even as kids, we just brush up and then get up and start, back to our work. Empathy as people and behaviors that will drive results, and how you can use data and use that strategically. Looking for sponsors and mentors, and focusing on your mental and physical health, which is so, so critical. I think you guys have made this conversation so impactful and so meaningful for all our audience. Thank you all for joining this great session.
Thank you so much, Kavita. Thank you so much, Preeta, for having us on the panel and getting this, interesting topic to be discussed for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone. This
you.
was a wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, CareerNet. Thank you, Kavita, Preeta, and it was lovely, listening from Sumitra and Sibi, and Thank
Same
you for
here.
having us here.
Same here.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
So
Bye-bye.
now we are off to our vote of thanks. Rahul, over to you.
Thanks, Preeta. I mean, what an inspiring talk, right? Like, I mean, I've taken like 3 pages of notes. But special thanks to Vaibhav, Sumitra, Deepti, Sibi for spending time with us. I think what we heard is essentially nuggets of wisdom coming from experience, right? Real life experience. And I hope everyone can absorb what we heard in the last hour and a half. So there are a few things which are happening, right? And skills are becoming more and more important. So I hope that stays with you. Your career journey will never be linear. Today career journey is not going to be what career journeys looked 5 years back. I also took away some things like the most risk you can take is not taking any risk at all, right? Like how simple is that, right? So somewhere you'll have to take thoughtful risk, right? But prepare for it, prepare mentally for it, and take that jump. Also things around growing horizontally, right? How do you enrich your experiences in the work that you're doing, add more projects, add more practical knowledge, and then things about speaking up, right? Asking for opportunities, asking for what can I do next? Where can I really move the needle? Um, Investing in a board of directors, right? So essentially, a lot of your career decisions will be made in rooms where you're not present, right? And this is true for anyone in the workforce. So how do you have a board of directors who will vouch for you, right? So this could be mentors, this could be sponsors. So really make effort to have that board of directors around you. And then being intentional, right? Being prepared for every opportunity. So preparation is the key. That doesn't change. So a lot of good things coming out this morning. I hope you enjoyed the talks. Our next session is actually the networking session. I know a lot of you are looking forward to it. Now, before we do that, a special thanks to our sponsors for the event today. ABB for the platinum sponsorship, Global Foundries, Guidewire, Vodafone Idea for being gold sponsors, and our exhibitors, Make My Trips, Siemens Healthineers, ClearTax, R.R. Donnelly, and Fresenius Medical Care. Thank you so much for making this happen. We really appreciate your support. Prita, would you want to kind of talk about how we can get into the networking session next?
Sure. Thank you, Rahul. So I'm sure you've got a poll and a feedback on your screen. If you've enjoyed today's session, please take a moment to respond to the feedback poll on your screen. Your feedback will really help us in building even stronger initiatives. We're just going to be signing off from today's session. Thank you to every single one of you who joined us today and really choose to invest in your professional journey. Before we wrap up, there are booths where you can visit the employer booths, explore opportunities there. There are networking sessions. You can interact with the companies directly and stay connected with MyCareernet's for upcoming initiatives. This is not just the end of an event, it's a beginning of new possibilities. On behalf of CareerNet Group and MyCareernet's, thank you for being a part of Career Fair for Women 2026. Keep learning, keep leading, keep rising. Have a fantastic day ahead.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Take care.